YouTube Buzzik going. The Goat House is back. We got bold predictions for week 15 of the NFL season. You guys send in these bold predictions through our Twitter every Thursday. I pick out some good ones, and we break them down. It's what we do. Check out that Twitter to get more involved. Thursday night game tonight, a good one. Chiefs-Chargers will be talking throughout that game like we do for every game. So, again, check it out. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Full NFL coverage here. Much appreciated if you can join us for all that. The first one comes from Trent. Second half Raiders find a way to lose to the COVID Browns. Man, this would be a next level second half of the season Raiders if they blew this game. I was kind of feeling the Raiders. It was kind of a gut feeling. Wasn't super confident, but feeling the Raiders before all the COVID nonsense for the Browns. So, I mean, the Raiders got to win this game. There's no way, right? I'm going to say hot. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving the Raiders to maybe I'm too confident with these Raiders. I mean, they are pretty bad right now. But are they this bad? I mean, this is a must-win game because this would be I'm a Vikings fan. We lost to the Lions in the last play of the game. That's a pretty bad one. It's a pretty embarrassing one, you know. You don't usually get embarrassed, but one like that, this is one for the Raiders. If you're a Raiders fan, I would imagine this would be a brutal one, lose this one. So it's a must-win here. And more guys. We hear Ronnie Harrison's the latest. I mean, they're missing so many guys. On top of the guys out for injury as well. Don't forget about Jack Conklin, Kareem Hunt, Greg Newsom's been beat up. The Raiders are gonna have to win this one. Must win. That one, Hokie. Bills have their third shutout game of the year and cruise past the Panthers. This is very possible, I think, because the Bills still play very good defense. They haven't been as good recently, but they still play pretty sound, technically sound defense. Seems like the running game, underneath game, is kind of where you beat them. Maybe they're a little more vulnerable without Tre'Davious White. But, I mean, what do the Panthers got going from? They got Cam running the ball. Chuba Hubbard's been pretty solid, but is that a guy that's going to dice up the Bills? I don't expect them to get much passing game going, but, Tre'Davious White's out. Maybe they throw Sam Darnold in there to help him get downfield a little more, but Tre'Davious White's out, obviously, still, so the rest of the year. So maybe they get their weapons going. We've been waiting for that all year, though. I think I don't have them shutting. I think it's realistic, though. I was about to go warm, but I think it's realistic. I'm not predicting this, but it's very possible. Very possible here. We'll see. What if the Bills just lost the game? Then we have full panic mode. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think it's a pretty good matchup for them. Tony Benz, Devin Duvernay scores a special teams touchdown against the Packers, so their athletic second-year returner. And the Packers, if you watch that Sunday night game, the Packers special teams, an absolute mess. They let Jakeem Grant return a Bears franchise record punt return, a return that he shouldn't really have fielded, even though I wasn't really against it because it's the Bears. They need to make something happen here, Season feels like it's over anyways, and he takes to the house. That was very impressive. The Packers special teams look like a mess. Devin Duvernay is a pretty damn good returner. So I like the thinking here. This is kind of a bold one because it's specific. Don't see returns a lot this year. But I like the thinking because the matchup, I'm gonna say it's. I was gonna go piping, but we'll go hot just because how bad the Packers special teams is. But it's still hot though for this to happen. I'd say if the Packers played the Ravens last week and they're playing the Bears this week, I would say that the Ravens Duvernay probably return one of the Packers, and then maybe the Packers don't allow the Bears this week. I think kind of just because the full week of practice kind of had to been a lot of focus on the special teams in the film room, on the practice field, because it was a disaster. So some guys are probably getting yelled at, and they probably going to wake up, probably going to fix some things, and it's still not going to be good maybe because it was pretty bad. But I'm not planning on a return here, but that's an interesting one. Kyle Harsek, Trevor Lawrence has his best game as a rookie, effects of getting his head coach out of there. This seems to be kind of a hot topic. Urban Meyer fired, obviously. Does that make everyone better? Everyone talking about James Robinson, talking about Trevor Lawrence. It's a very intriguing, very interesting topic here because Urban Meyer was definitely a problem. He was a distraction, it looks like. The team morale was down. I've seen a report that the team's dialed in now. They had a meeting this morning. They're dialed in. So I'm definitely expecting more energy, focus A lot of energy, a lot of focus. I'm expecting that. But does it make specific players better? Does it make specific players, a guy like James Robinson, for an example, get more carries? And I can argue both sides there. My big argument is, before, Urban Meyer didn't know who was getting more snaps. It didn't look like he was in charge of putting James Robinson in, taking him out. I think he doesn't do too much coaching on game day. There's a lot of coaches like that. It seems to be a lot of college head coaches. They kind of prepare the team, build the team, for the week. Main part, the head coach throughout the week in practice, maybe the most important part. But on game day, lets the coordinators handle it, and that's kind of why he was blaming them quite a bit, obviously. So how much does he, he doesn't call plays. He's not the guy responsible for these receivers running pretty bad routes. I think the play designs are actually what's really bad. He's really not in charge there. So this is tough. But I do think there's going to be a fire lit underneath these players. There's going to be a lot of energy. Maybe the coaches in charge, Bevel for an example. Maybe they just change things up. Maybe there's a fire lit underneath them. So this is a real tough one. It's definitely interesting. I don't think he has his best game. I think he could, though. I'll say warm. I was going to go hot, but I'm going to go warm. Maybe because the energy of him and all the other players, and they're playing the Texans. I think it's possible here. I'm still debating on switching my pick to the Jags. We will see. It's definitely interesting. Latson Field scrambles for 60-plus yards against the Vikings. I'm actually going to say this is happening. I believe he scrambled for like over 70 yards against the Packers last week. I think the key is to beat the Vikings is to have Fields to get outside the pocket and allow him to scramble. Well, I guess design runs, would that be considered scramble if you go read option? So I guess it's a good question. But because the Vikings are going to blitz a lot. They're going to disguise their defense. So if you get Fields on the outside of the pocket, and have the ability to run, or if there's an open receiver, you throw it to him. That is how you are going to beat the Vikings defense. It's how you're going to do it, So I think and my problem is I don't think they do enough of it. I don't trust Nagy to do enough of it, but I think they do it, and I think Fields on his own, even without those plays, will be able to scramble and run for some yards. So I'm going to say this is definitely happening. But I'm very curious to see how the game plan, how much they use Fields on the ground Monday night. It's a big storyline in my opinion. St. Nicholas. Steelers go down by 3+ scores again. Remember last week they were down 29 points, almost came back against the Vikings. The NFL record, the regular season is 28 points. In 1980, they almost pulled off the 29 record breaker. But the Steelers go down 3+ scores again, and this time are able to pull off the comeback. Right away, I'm going to say piping because they're not playing the Vikings. The Steelers have come back before, not just against the Vikings, but playing the Titans. Pretty stout defense right now. I think they're a well-coached team. Steelers can definitely win. I'm not saying, otherwise. I just don't think they get down that much and come back, and pull it off. If they were playing the Vikings again, if they were playing the Falcons, and we could probably throw some of those teams that are struggling there, Jags, Lions, Texans, maybe, if they were playing one of those teams, the Browns, maybe in that category. Mainly the Vikings and the Falcons. Then I would say this is very possible. But the Titans, I don't think so. I know the Titans are pretty beat up, but are they going to get down 3 scores and come back on the Titans? I just don't think it's happening. From B-Dov, the Saints continue their Bucks to be the Bucks kryptonite, picking off Brady twice in a massive upset for the season sweep. Again, last year they 2-0'd him. They beat him up pretty good. Late year one was a pure domination. Last time they played him, they dominated most of the game. The Bucks actually came back to the lead, and the Saints put them away then. And they created turnovers in all of these games. Tom Brady didn't look like the GOAT. He didn't look like the MVP that he looks like right now against the Saints, So that might be the problem. Well, here's the picking him off twice, I think is pretty possible. It's kind of a two-parter here. I think picking him off twice is, do I want to say realistic? I don't think it's going to happen. I'd say picking him off twice is realistic. I'm kind of in between realistic and warm, but then get the win on top of it. My problem with this matchup and why I don't really think the Saints will win this one, even though they have a good matchup situation against the Bucks, is because the Taysom Hill, it's not really Taysom Hill, but the Taysom Hill Saints, it's more of a run team. They're not going to beat you with the pass. And that's how you got to beat the Bucks. So their defense can do all this and that, but will they have the offense? So for all this happening, I can't say piping, but I'll say hot. Kind of a two-parter there, but it's definitely interesting to think about because, what if the Saints just beat them again, Because it's been a big problem. It's been the kryptonite, like he said there. Last one, NFL youngboy Rasul Douglas keeps the streak going, makes it 3 straight games with a pick 6 win, with a blowout win over the Ravens. This would be something. So it's kind of a two-parter. I think they're going to handle the Ravens pretty well. I think Rodgers has a day throwing on them. They're beat up secondary. The Ravens game, their type of defense, their scheme doesn't really fit, completely stopping Aaron Rodgers and this Packers offense. So I do think they're going to win pretty big. I think if Lamar plays, again, I think the Ravens could have some success on offense underneath type plays. Use your athletic guys, your speed demons. But Rasul Douglas keeps. I don't think he can do 3 in a row. I don't know. He's been fantastic. It's been a good story too, because the guy that's been bouncing around different teams, Raiders, Texans, Cardinals, now in the Packers, all in 2021. It's just hard to believe because they don't have him on the field every single snap either. It's hard to believe he'll do it again. We'll come back to this if he does it again, though. That'd be pretty wild. So I can't wait to see what he does there. But that wraps up your bold predictions for Week 15. The regular season's almost already done, but I can't wait for playoffs. I'm already starting to think about offseason stuff, too. We got you covered here on the channel and on Twitter. Link down below for the Twitter. Check it out. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. We much appreciate it. It's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.